Body language is communication by means of facial expressions, gestures, postures, and other wordless signals. Body language also includes grooming habits, hair and clothing styles, and such practices as tattooing, and body piercings, as defined as by the Funk and Wagnall's New World Encyclopedia in 2014. Body language is the way we communicate unspoken information about our identities, relationships, and thoughts. Body language also communicates people's motivations, attitudes, and moods. It has an essential role in all interpersonal relationships. It helps define relationships in situations such as educational, family, and friend relationships. Some body language signals are inherent at birth. Most of these signals we don't have control over. These signals would be things like blinking the eyes, clearing the throat, and flushing. Many other body language signals, however, can be learned, whether we know it or not. Things like not making eye contact and trying to hide our faces when we are feeling shy or uncomfortable are actions that we unconsciously pick up and feel are right to do. Many body signals are recognized and accepted internationally. Expressions of happiness, anger, surprise, and disgust are some of the basic emotions that are universally understood by all cultures. Gestures like a thumbs up, a salute, and even a wink of the eye are learned signals. The connotation of the gestures can be different among various cultures. Most people use gestures without being consciously aware of them. Even if a person tries deliberately to limit the gestures they use, that tells us something too, says the Women's Era September 2015 issue. Typically, if a person is trying to decrease the amount of gestures they are using, they are holding back, trying to withdraw themselves from a person or situation. Our use of mannerisms and the type of mannerisms we use are never wrong. They are always appropriate because they are expressing our honest feelings, whether we are trying to disguise them or not. Gestures cannot be given a single definition because they never will always mean the same thing. Their meaning depends heavily on the situation that they are used in and who the person is who is using the gestures. Even though gestures can't be given a watertight definition, they can be grouped into 4 loose categories: protection, reassurance, uncertainty, and aggression, based on the reasons or the purposes they are used for. Crossing your legs tightly and or clasping your hands tight in your lap can be a protective gesture. Mannerisms are often expressions of reassurance and a search for identity. A common one is folding your hands together and rubbing a thumb over the other thumb. The clasped hands give you a sense of something to hold on to and a sense of reality. And rubbing your thumbs together gives the reassurance of touch and feeling. Someone seeking reassurance of their place in a group will often sit close to an authority figure, someone who they believe is assertive and is solid in their position. Or they might be showing their want of being associated with the leader of a group. A person who covers their mouth when they are talking is generally a little unsure of themselves. The person might hope unconsciously that no one will realize that they are talking, and they won't be blamed if they say something wrong. A person who is wanting out of a situation will unbutton their coat, so to speak, or prepare themselves to leave by readying their belongings. Someone who is interested and wants to engage will do the opposite and relax themselves by unbuttoning their coat. They might even open up their torso area by putting their arms behind them and showing that they are open to what you are saying. A cooperative person may also indicate this by sitting in a relaxed way, legs uncrossed and arms unfolded. Mannerisms in the aggression category range from expressing outright hostility to hopefully using them to control aggressive feelings. A person who covers their mouth with their hand while listening to someone else is often trying to refrain from butting in. Another common mannerism is to cup your chin with your hand. A slight sense of aggression can be felt when someone leans far back in their chair and stares directly at who is talking to them. This action implies that the person feels like they are in control of a situation. A very common aggressive gesture is to grind your foot into the ground. It gives an outlet of frustration to the person because of feelings that they have during the conversation. These are only a few of the hundreds of mannerisms that people use. These manipulators are not always signs of discomfort. As Alder says in Looking Out, Looking In, not all fidgeting signals uneasiness. People also are likely to engage in self-touching when relaxed and when they let down their guard. There is something overlapping in gestures, and sometimes they are almost meaningless. Unless you know a great deal about a person, the person using them, and the situation that is involved, we should observe the people we are engaged in conversations with more carefully, and perhaps we will gain a greater understanding and insight into who they are and what they are truly feeling.